Hello, my name is Ayuna Nechaeva. I'm head of Europe primary markets at the London Stock Exchange. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the impact of the COVID-19 crisis on the global capital markets, specifically on the London markets, and also share with you our thoughts around the metals and mining industry and our outlook for the year ahead. So first of all, it's interesting to see that despite the huge volatility that we have seen on the markets, companies have continued to raise capital to support their balance sheet and to even invest in their growth. So for the London Stock Exchange, it has been important to provide this platform both for our companies and our investors to provide this access to capital that they need. I'll give you some numbers. 6.3 billion US dollars was raised in the first quarter of 2020, which puts in London, which puts the London Stock Exchange as number one in Europe. Why is this important? It is important because the market have played a very crucial role in supporting the businesses in this very difficult time. Moreover, if we look at the time frame post first quarter of 2020, starting from the 1st of March of this year, we can see that there has been 138 follow-on capital raising transactions, which is over 3 times more than in any other active exchange in Europe. So among those companies, we have seen a number of businesses from the UK, of course. We have seen companies from across a variety of sectors, but also companies from Europe and emerging markets, which is very, very important. So on this slide, you can see a bit of a snapshot on what's been happening with the indices, global indices. So on the top left-hand chart, you can see how the various indices from around the world, including UK indices such as FTSE 100, FTSE 250, the European ones from Stocks Europe, and the American ones such as S&P 500. So the outbreak has really put a downward pressure on those indexes, especially around mid-March and towards the end of March. But what happened then is a slow and quite robust recovery, which is quite positive for us to see. And on the right-hand chart, you can see that. If we look at the monthly performance of the top indices such as FTSE 100, so it's a positive performance. It has grown by, it has increased, and actually it shows a small positive change to 3.7 points. So in terms of the various sectors and indices, some of the best performing stocks have been in healthcare, which is not a surprise. Also in personal care, drugs, pharmaceuticals, grocery stores, which also is not a surprise. Some of the industries that have performed quite badly also, predictably, these are travel and leisure. So including aviation, airline stocks, automobile and parts, media, energy, and retail. However, if we look at metals and mining sector, and actually it is depicted as basic resources on the bottom chart, we can see it has performed down, but just slightly down to 3.6% overall. So in terms of I just want to give you a little bit more color on the further issuance trends. So as I said, just over 7 billion US dollars has been raised from March 2020 until 15th of May. And some of the big transactions have been from companies like Informa, Just Eat Takeaway, National Express, and even AIM companies, the small and medium-sized businesses such as ASOS, Boohoo, and Abcam. So it's both large and small companies companies that have been able to tap into the market. 7 out of the 20 largest European transactions have been executed in London, which actually accounted for 38% of total capital raised across Europe. Um, just for metals and mining, I wanted to give you some case studies, tell you some stories that have happened since you may have last heard from me at the previous Minex Forum at the end of last year. So that we have seen a new company join the markets called Adriatic Metals PLC from Bosnia and Herzegovina, which listed on the 12th of December 2019. It was also listed on the ASX, so it was a secondary listing. Market capitalization at the introduction or admission was just over 200 million US dollars. It has slightly declined since then, which is not a surprise given the situation. It has a very interesting investor base. So you see investors like Sprott, like the Bank of Nova Scotia, and US global investors. So it's quite a diverse set. And interestingly, of course, gold has performed really well, and we have all been monitoring the price of gold, and especially as soon as the investors started rushing to the safe haven, the price of gold also was actually, we can't say it was stable or just growing. We have seen some volatility there. But just to give you also an illustration how that affected one of the companies that's on our market, Pure Gold Mining. It is its main country of operations, Canada. It joined our markets last May, in May 2019, with the size of just over 100 million. And today, the market capitalization is actually triple that at 339 million. And you can see on the price chart here, it's just going up and up, which is fantastic to see. And I just want to finish with the biggest trend that we see actually developing right now on our market, especially from investors and companies have been picking up, is this massive move towards ESG and green economy. And then what does it mean for metals and mining companies? And what's really important is that metals and mining companies today are now thinking about transitioning. So transition pathway initiative is on the top of many people's agenda, many companies' agenda. We, as the London Stock Exchange, we also talk to companies about taking up not only the ESG principles, but also thinking about how they can look at various products to be able to make that gradual transition to more ESG compliant, more sustainable processes. We're thinking ourselves as London Stock Exchange of developing and offering to the market various products such as transition bonds. One of the very successful initiatives that has been implemented and is actually actively being taken up by companies, by our clients, is the Green Economy Mark. The green economy classification we have developed on the basis of the taxonomy of the FTSE Russell sustainable indices. And if a company generates over 50% of its revenue from business activities within FTSE Russell's green revenue taxonomy, then it is eligible for the mark. And what's interesting, companies have been that have been awarded with this brand mark have been actively using it in trying to diversify their investor base, but also some companies, even before joining to the market, ask for pre-eligibility for the green economy mark and see if they can use it during their IPO roadshow. So this is one of the initiatives that are already in place. And just to give you some numbers around this initiative aimed at the green and sustainability efforts. So 79 companies already have the green economy mark. Out of them, 11 focus specifically on green energy. Total market cap of these companies is just over 75 billion US dollars. And you can see some of the names that are already there. But also interestingly, the spread of the size of the companies that are already in that that already have been awarded this brand mark. So there are companies that are over 1 billion in size, but also there are a large number of companies that are anywhere between 5 million market cap to 500 million market cap. So it's any company can reach that. So I'll pause here and would be very happy to answer any questions you may have.